friends, welcome back. So glad you're here. This week, what we are going to be talking about are community helpers. We definitely have been hearing a lot about different helpers, especially during this year of 2020. Now, if you are at school, you have someone that's helping you, and that's your teacher. And there are other community helpers. Can you tell me some of them? Yes, a nurse, a doctor, a police officer, firefighter, grocery store workers, and we have sanitation helpers, the ones who come and collect all of our trash. Oh, big helpers. And we have mailmen. There's so many different helpers out there. I know I need a haircut. And that's someone else that helps our community. Community is the group around us of where we live that provides services. We also go to them as friends or family. We have churches in there. We have all different kinds of places that make our place a community. And without most of them, we'd be in big trouble because we'd have to probably go pretty far to look for help. So these are all great things, and I'm so excited to be talking about them with you because we want to take some time and say thank you to all of our community helpers because we don't even realize how much we rely on or that we use their services so much that we would be lost without them. So it's always a great time to be able to stop everything and say thank you. And so this week, we are going to say thank you by learning about and talking about all of these amazing community helpers. And who knows, maybe when you grow up, you'll become a community helper, especially because you've gotten to see how important they are for us. And I'm pretty sure from everything I've been hearing and seeing that you are going to be awesome at whatever you choose. Now, the ones that I mentioned today are not the only ones. Those are just a lot of the ones that we hear a lot about. And that doesn't mean that you should stop with only my list. Why don't you talk with your family and your friends? And maybe if you have a trusted adult with you, you could go online and you can look up other careers, other people who do different jobs that help in our community. So one of them I mentioned is a teacher. And they're really important in helping us learn about reading and writing and teaching us about, we have phys ed class, gym class. We have our media specialist, which is also our librarian. We have music class. I hope you have all of these. Art class. Those are different types of special teachers that show us other ways to learn about different things. And I'm so excited by that because one of our things that we do when we get together is I'm hoping that you are starting to learn all your letters. Why is it important? Because you are going to learn how to read and you are going to learn how to write. And we've talked about all the different ways that you can become a writer. And by your learning adventures that we've been on, that you could be able to use those times to start writing about things that we've learned together, things we've explored together, maybe even things that you went on to do all by yourself and learn more about one of the topics we talked about or one of the themes that we talked about. Well, let's get working on this. I heard we've had some new friends join us that are still learning. And if you have learned it all, good for you. I'm so excited. But you know what? Even as old as I am, I'm still not done learning. So in fact, I learned some new sign language words, American Sign Language words from Miss Mickey that I asked to make sure that I'm doing it correctly so that I can teach you. So you see, never done learning. That's just how it is. Okay, let's start. So I say the letter, I say the picture name, and then I make the sound that this letter makes when I say this picture name. Got it? It would sound like this. A, apple, a. Nice. All right, here we go. A, apple, A. B, bat, B. C, cat, K. D, dog, D. E, ed, E. F, fun, F. G, game, G. H, hat, H. I, itch, I. J, jug, J. K, kite, K. L, lamp, L. M, man, M. N, nut, N. O, octopus, A. P, pan, P. Q, U, queen, Qu. R, rat, R. S, snake, S. T, top, T. U, up, V, van, V. Make sure you make those lips buzz. V. W, wind, W. X, fox, X. Y, yellow, Y. Z, zebra, Z. Did you do it? Awesome! That's great. Keep practicing. You can print out your own. And you can go over it and over it at home, making sure you're going to wow those teachers when you get back to school. And yourself, because you're learning how to do it. And that is awesome. Okay, well, I mentioned to you that we were talking about our community helpers. So I'm going to show you a picture. And this is a police officer or a cop. So I'm going to tell you the American Sign Language word that we are going to work on is cop or police officer. So I want you to see where we get it from though. Do you see the badge? So we make a C and you put it right about where that badge would be. Police officer, cop. Nice job. Okay, that's one of our community helpers that's really important for keeping the law, keeping us safe, and helping us when we have a problem. Now, another community helper is a firefighter. Right, here's one. What's he holding? The hose, right. We see that the firefighters use that to put out a fire. And if there is a fire, please don't go and try and do it yourself. We need to get help. And that's another thing we're going to learn about. What number do we call if we need emergency help? Well, we're going to talk about that when we sing our songs. So this is a firefighter. Here's another picture. It's good to know what they look like when they have on all of their gear, it's called, because it could look pretty scary when they come in and they have a mask on. In fact, firefighter AJ, he comes in and he helps us learn about that at our school so that the kids aren't afraid to see a firefighter come in. Now they have a mask on over their face and they have an oxygen tank behind them. And so when you hear them, it can sound kind of scary because it sounds like this. And seeing that and smoke and the fire, it can be a little bit scary. But firefighters are there to help us, and they usually come on a fire truck. So, if you notice, they are wearing a helmet. So, firefighter is like this. Good job, because we're looking like the helmet. And they also have a badge on top too. That tells us what company they are with, what firefighting company they are with, and it has other information that's really important for us to know. So that's a firefighter. Nice job, firefighters. Thank you for your help. Okay, here's another one. Buying fruit. Where can I go to buy fruit? A grocery store or a fruit market. That's another real important community helper. They help get the food so that we can go to the store and buy it so that we have things to eat. They also sell different things at the grocery store that we need. But those are very important community helpers, and we thank you for staying open and for helping us eat. Okay, another one. Can you guess? What is this a picture of? Mailbox. Not the kind outside by your house. You might have a little one, a smaller one, either attached to your house or standing on its own, maybe by the roadway or by your driveway. But this is the one that's a little bit bigger, sometimes in the middle of a town or a city, or by the post office. Mailman! I didn't finish coloring it in, but this is the person that brings us our mail. There's a lot of things that we get in the mail, sometimes even junk mail. But who knows? Sometimes I think it's fun just to get it. It makes me feel so important. But it is another important community helper that doesn't stop working no matter what the weather is. Snow, rain, sleet, hail. Well, maybe if it got really, really bad and it was a really big blizzard, we could wait a few days for our mail, maybe. Another important community helper, sanitation workers. They come in their big trucks and they take our garbage away. That's a really important job too. I'm so thankful that we have our sanitation workers because they help us by keeping our areas clean. Great job. Now, I didn't have a picture for some of these other ones I'm going to tell you about, but we were saying something before that you have a teacher, and a teacher is like this. They are like bringing knowledge and dropping it down into a person. Excellent. That's what we're doing on our learning adventures. I'm hopefully teaching you something new. If not, maybe I'm giving you a different way to look at it. But the teachers at school are giving you something and putting it into you. Sounds about right. Good. And how about a doctor and a nurse? Doctor, so you hold out your hand, and this is kind of where they always would check your pulse, or they do check your skin. So a doctor is D, and put it down like this. Try it out. Good. Now a nurse is letter N, and we tap our wrist with the other hand too. Got it? Easy peasy, but what a big job. Their job is not easy, but I'm so thankful that the sign for nurse and doctor is. Nurses and doctors help keep us healthy. If we're sick, we go to them and they help us. If we are going to the doctors just to be checked, just to make sure that we continue to be healthy, they're there for that also. So they are what we call front-line workers. That means that they're the people that we are going to come to contact first if we need their help at a hospital, at a doctor's office, and thankfully they keep working, and they need to be thanked for that too, because they've helped out a lot of people, and we're here saying thank you for that, and we don't want to ever forget to say thank you. So good job. And I keep saying the word help. So help in sign language is like this. Help, help, person. That's what we do. You are a great helper because there's things that you can do. It doesn't matter how old you are. Even when you're a baby, when you smile, that helped cheer me up. So I think that you are a good helper at home. So if you're giving help, you kind of pick it up and give it away, helping. But if someone's helping you, you take in the help, right? So a helping person is a community helper. Keep practicing those, and you know what? The word for thank you is this. Thank you. You're saying thank you, and you're kind of pointing out. So I'm wondering if it would be thank you helping people. That's a good thing. Well, let's sing some songs to celebrate some of these helpers. Okay, so I'm a police officer. It goes to the tune of I'm the little teapot. I'm a police officer with my star. I help lots of people near and far. If you have a problem, call on me, and I will be there 1, 2, 3. Yes, that is what happens. Now, it said in the song to call on him or her, and I said before we were going to learn what number it is to call if we have an emergency. Now, we don't pick up the phone just to call and be funny, because we don't want the police officers to come running to help us like they usually do, or the firefighters to come here to help, and it was only us being silly. That is not being responsible and respectful of their time and their jobs, right? We want to make sure that they can be out there to help people who really need it. So the number is, oh, I hear a few of you already telling me. Good job. 911. And this is to the tune of Three Blind Mice. 911, 911. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. If you need help, I know what to do. I can call the police and the firehouse too. It makes me feel safe to know what to do. Dial 911. 911. You got it? Do we call it just because we want to be funny and silly? No. It's only for emergencies, because we want them to be out there helping those who really need help. That's their job, and they promise to do a good job at it. So we want to say thank you. Another community helper we didn't talk about before, but we're going to sing about now, is a dentist. Oh, keeping those teeth all clean and shiny and making sure that they're healthy. Sometimes we get a toothache and that could really hurt, but that would be the person that you would go to that could help us. It's a dentist. This is to row, row, row your boat. Brush, brush, brush your teeth, keep them clean each day. Then you'll have a pretty smile and healthy teeth all day. Let me see that great big smile. That's so good. Look at you. Wow. I think you've even grown since we first started this. Good job. Make sure you're brushing those teeth. I'm speaking for all the dentists out there. Okay, so a mail carrier. Ooh, the post office. Did I show you that before? I think I forgot. So, post office mails our letters that we're sending out to other people, or cards, or bills, or checks to pay for something that we might have bought or something that we used. So we used to lick a stamp and put it on our envelope that went out. So that's a carryover from that to how we use it to make our word in sign language. So it would be like this. Pretend you're licking and putting it on the envelope. That's a letter person. Or letter man. Mailman. Got it? But a woman or a man can be it, so we don't want to just only say one way, but I'm giving you a few ways to say it. So keep trying it out. They'll be so excited if you see them, and you can explain it to them if you want to with one of your adults or your family members to go and try to say thank you. Do you remember how to say thank you? You can say thank you, mailman, or thank you, letter carrier, or thank you, cop, right? You can do those things now, which is awesome. They're going to love that you have used your smarts to talk in a different language so that people who can't hear, you can talk to them. Oh, we've learned so much. Okay, so the mail carrier song is to row, row, row your boat. Write, write, write your cards and lots of letters too. Bring them to your friends and they'll bring them back to you. So the mail carrier is the one who's going to go and bring it for you, because we can't travel as far away as some of the places in one day. So, but that's their job. Okay, so now we're going to do, let's see, community helper songs. Now, this is where you get to be the imaginative person that you are. And I have some ideas that I have on my songs, But it's not the only idea that we can have. If you think of another community helper that you want to add to this list, you do it. Write it down, draw a picture, or just start singing the song. And if you know someone in your family or your friends have a community helper that their parents are, how about you make a video and maybe send it to them? You have to ask permission first, but it is something that you can actually do right now today with learning some of these songs or using our sign language to be a helper and say thank you to them. Okay? So this is Community Helpers song, and it's from Farmer and the Dell. And there are a list of some people that we didn't even talk about, remember? So let me start. The doctor makes us well. The doctor makes us well. Hey ho, what do you know? The doctor makes us well. The farmer sows the fields. The farmer sows the fields. Hey ho, what do you know? The farmer sows the fields. So the farmer, he's the one who plants all the seeds for the vegetables and fruits that we like to eat. Where would we be without him? Well, you're right. We might be able to make our own garden, but is your garden big enough to feed you from January to December? Does the weather outside allow us to have a garden all year round? But even if it was, your garden is only enough just for probably you and your family and maybe some of your friends and family that live near you. But it's not enough to feed the world. It could be, if that's your goal, if that's your hope. You can work on that. But we do need farmers until that day happens, that you change the world. So there's another one, a chef. A chef is someone who cooks our food if we go out to restaurants or when we go back out to restaurants. But a chef is a person who cooks. Your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, aunts or uncles, whoever, you're a trusted adult that cooks you food, it can be called a chef too. So, the chef cooks the food. The chef cooks the food. Hey ho, what do you know? The chef cooks the food. Good. Another one we talked about. Who delivers the mail? The mail carrier, right? The mail carrier brings the mail. The mail carrier brings the mail. Hey ho, what do you know? The mail carrier brings the mail. The firefighter puts out the fires. The firefighter puts out the fires. Hey ho, what do you know? The firefighter puts out the fires. And baker. We didn't even talk about a baker. Ooh, yum. I love sweets. But who doesn't? What? Are you sure? How about cupcakes and cakes? And I even love a good bread. The baker bakes the bread. The baker bakes the bread. Hey ho, what do you know? The bakers bake the bread and the other sweets. Can you name something that you love? Yes, chocolate chip cookies. I heard that. Oh goodness, what a job that must be. Can you imagine working in a bakery all day? I'm glad I don't, but I'm so glad that there are people who can do it and I get to visit them. That's a great job. Thank you, bakers. Okay, a firefighter. I'm a little teapot. I'm a little firefighter on the go. Here is my helmet. Here is my hose. Remember the hose? Hold it out. When I see a fire, you hear me shout. I turn the water on and put the fire out. Did you do it? Great. Good job. Remember, don't play with fire. It's not funny. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And here's another thing about fire. They can be started by accident, but they can also be started on purpose. That means you wanted to do it. And we don't ever want that to happen unless it's in a fire pit or you're having a safe family way of having a way to toast some marshmallows. But what I'm talking about are playing with matches. That's not okay. Everyone needs to see what you're doing, and we don't want to hurt anyone, and we don't want you to get hurt. So here's a good song to remember that. It's called Never Play with Matches. Never, never play with matches. No, no, no. No, no, no. You will get in trouble. You might burn your fingers. Ow, ow, ow. No, no, no. No, no, no. That's really serious. We don't want you to get hurt, and we don't want anything else that you own or anything that anyone else owns to get hurt or damaged, right? Good. I didn't think you would, but I just wanted to talk about it. Okay, well, I have a special book to celebrate a community helper, and this is called A Nurse. I want to be a nurse. A nurse works at a doctor's office or at a hospital. And remember I told you the sign for nurse? Right? Good. And let's see what a job entails or what that means a nurse does all day long. These are some of the things. These are what we would say is like a highlight. They show us some of the things. It's not the only things. So this is called I Want to Be a Nurse, and it's by Dan Liebman and Firefly Books. There's a nurse. This nurse enjoys her job. She cares for the sick and helps people stay well. Thank you for that. Many nurses work in a hospital. Doctors and nurses work closely together. A nurse welcomes a new patient and his friends. Have you been to the doctor's office? You get to sit up on the table. This nurse is asking lots of questions. That doesn't hurt. The nurse's station is a busy place. There are questions to answer and questions to ask. A nurse's station is usually at the hospital or in some other places that are bigger offices. That's where they all come together, and see, she has a clipboard with papers on it and she's writing. So there's lots of things that we want to make sure to find out, to make sure if you're sick, how we're going to get you better. We put all those things down and we look at what it says and we think and put that puzzle together to hopefully solve your problem. Thank you, nurses, for being willing to do that for us. No matter how busy they are, nurses need to make patients feel comfortable. A smile really helps. Doesn't he look like he would help us? Oh yeah. And look, this is something that we're seeing a lot more than ever before. This is a mask. Below that mask, we all have the ability to give a smile to a friend. The nurse works in a doctor's office. Oh, doing a test or taking some blood. This nurse visits patients in their homes. The nurse is checking the woman's blood pressure. Yep, I know someone who used to do this too. Go to each person's house that needed help and go and check on them. You might have seen this in your home too. Until this baby gets better, a nurse will always be in the same room. Keeping records is an important part of every nurse's job. Yep. Look at the baby. Even when nurses work alone, they are helping their patients. So when they walk away from you, does it mean that they stop thinking about you and they stop helping you? No. In fact, they're usually going out to go take all their information and give it to the doctor. So the doctor can usually come and see you next and make sure that they have all the right information to help you. So just because they walk out of the room doesn't mean that they're done. They're still working, especially on helping you. Nurses learn to use special machines to check their patients' health. Maybe you've seen a lot of these things, especially if you go to the hospital. You might have some wires attached to you, and they might have a big screen where you can see information and numbers and letters, and you hear lots of sounds, like a lot of beeping and different things, and it can kind of sound a little loud and scary too at times. But once you understand that a nurse is actually there to help you, hopefully you'll realize that it's not to scare you. We want you better. Sometimes nurses have fun playing with their younger patients. Some nurses work in the operating room. This nurse is making sure that everything is set up properly. Might look a little bit different now when you're in an operating room. I don't know if you've ever been in one, but they do have big lights in there so the doctors and nurses can see everything that they need to see to keep you healthy and safe. And remember, it might be hard to know this at the time, but I want to be another person that tells you that those machines are not there to hurt you. They're there to help you. Even though they look big and scary, use your words and ask a question if you ever see something that you're not sure. I don't want you to sit there in fear. I'd like you to use your words and ask, and that will probably help you get a good answer. Germs spread quickly, so nurses and doctors wear masks and gloves during an operation. There are those masks. That's not the only time that we are seeing masks now. A lot of people are wearing masks even just to go food shopping. It's just a way to keep germs away and trying to stay healthy while we're at it. So now you might be seeing a lot of people with the mask. Don't be afraid. That's just to help keep you healthy and me healthy. And we might be seeing it for a little bit of time. But there you go. There's why. The operation is over, and this little girl will soon be feeling much better. See, there's the nurse checking in. This patient receives treatment twice a week from the nurse. Her leg is getting stronger every day. This nurse has good news. Her patient can go home tomorrow. Woohoo! They get to give some good news too. A great big smile makes a nurse's work worthwhile. Do you know what that means? That means a nurse would feel so much better when you smile and you realize that she's there to help you. Just like all these other community helpers. We don't always get a chance to stop and say thank you. And honestly, maybe because we just never even really think about saying thank you, because they always give a service to us. That's their job. That's what they do. They're always helping, right? That's that sign for helping. They're helping people. That's what they do. They love it. They feel good about doing it. And sometimes I think we just got so used to seeing them around that we forget to say thank you sometimes. And you know what? We should change that today. Let's make a choice to always try to remember to say thank you. Do you remember how to do that in sign language? Thank you. Right? That's one way. You can use your words or you can use your hands to say thank you. Just because it looks different doesn't mean it's any different. It's something that we can do differently. That's all. But I would challenge you. That means I'm going to ask you to do something. Next time you're out, maybe at the store, or if you are outside and you are with your adult and you see the mail coming, maybe you can say thank you and just tell them why you're thankful. Up to you. But you know what? It would make a big difference for a lot of people who've been helping, and they would appreciate it. So I'll leave it up to you. Hey, can you do me a favor and tell me about someone you shared a thank you with? Did you go up to the baker? Did you stop by the post office and give a great big thank you? Isn't it fun when you receive a package? Oh, they would love to see your face smile. Just like the nurse in the story. It made her feel like her job was all worthwhile. So I'm going to leave it up to you. But I'd love to hear from you about how you went out and you started to make a difference for people who are serving in our community by just saying thank you and giving a great big smile. You can do it. I believe in you. Right? So have a great day and go make a good difference in this world. See you. Take care. Bye.